Our Fall 2013 baptism will be held November 10th at the 6 p.m. service in the chapel. There will be a class held the Sunday before at 9 a.m. in the main building. Sign up on the web or email Laura at lauras@canyonviewchurch.com.
So Kirk approached me about a year ago. His initial idea was to send a medical team down to Brazil to help with medical procedures. And he came back and said that Brazil wouldn't allow medical people down there, but they would allow construction teams, and that there was the opportunity to build churches on the Amazon. And of course, I was all over that, the ability to go onto the Amazon, into villages, and build churches. Awesome.
We were hooked from the get-go. When he says a construction project, we're interested. When he said Brazil, we were hooked. We had to go.
I've been on several mission trips before, and this one was easily the hardest one I've been on as far as work. The manual labor that we did was really difficult. But the reason I think I was able to keep working every day and not be kind of discouraged by it was because of what a church meant to the village where we were.
So before I left, I was feeling pretty nervous, which I think is common going to an unknown country that I've never been to before, especially when it's in the middle of the jungle on the Amazon River, and I can't swim.
It's just amazing that, when we take a break to sit back and think about where we're at, thousands of miles away from home, in the middle of the jungle, working on a church. It was, in some ways, just really surreal.
There's this whole shift of evangelism that's going on. It's just this wave of God that's occurring throughout Brazil and the Amazon basin that is second to none.
The missionary that lives there, who was heading up our trip, told us that in a village, when people gathered as a small group, they would have a little bit of attendance. People would kind of come, maybe not be that serious about it. But as soon as they got a church in their village, then all of a sudden people were really serious about it. It was like something's really happening here. And so for them, their village, it's kind of a Brazilian cultural thing that to have a church in a village really, really means something.
I wanted to accomplish the floors and the roofs and finish these churches, but the reality is what we were sent to do was encourage the Christians.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome thinking, I had to sometimes pinch myself, and then, of course, then we got to work and I didn't have time to pinch myself. We were working pretty hard for 5-6 days straight.
When I finally got there, I had a peace that just knowing that I was there doing God's will and that He was protecting me. When I think about the sacrifices that I made to go on this trip, the cost, the time off work, just actually stepping out of my comfort zone and doing something, that's what makes the reward so much better when you start to see these people's lives that are being changed because of what Jesus is doing.
I can tell you about it, but you got to go yourself, and you got to get past the comfort of home and get out there and do what we were called to do.
Well, it was one of the most fun things I've done, and I would love to go back again.
If I had the chance, I'd go back tomorrow.
I would go again in a heartbeat.
There's no reason for you not to go.
How often do you get to say that I got to build a church in the Amazon? That alone is a good enough reason to go.